More breaking news coming in as the legal tussle is currently underway over the ruling of Justice Swaminathan. Now, as per the letter of the law, the impeachment motion against Swaminathan seems to be weak. The judicial ruling of the judge cannot count as misbehaviour, is the letter of the law. The impeachment in India is constitutionally limited to proven misbehaviour or incapacity, and neither the Constitution nor the Judges Inquiry Act treats mere judicial error, controversial reasoning or unpopular orders as misbehaviour. So as per the letter of the law, it seems the DMK's case and the wider India Bloc's case, who has backed the impeachment motion against Swaminathan, it seems to be weak. I'm joined by my colleague Ananya Bhatnagar on the broadcast. So Ananya, clearly laying out the letter of the law, it seems this impeachment motion pushed by the DMK, backed by several India Bloc parties, has very weak legs to stand on.
Well, absolutely. If we talk legally, it's a pretty weak kind of an impeachment motion that has been moved by these India Bloc MPs. Very categorically, because for the first instance, if we go by the Judges Inquiry Act 1968, it completely goes on to suggest that a judge can actually be removed only on two parts. One is a proved misconduct, or his incapacity in his mental or physical terms, and these are the two grounds which constitute in fact the impeachment of a particular person. Now, proved misconduct could be with regards to what he has done personally, but it's very low as far as the law is concerned. It's a very low chance that a judgment of a judge could actually become the basis of in fact any kind of impeachment process being going against him. If we remember a case that had happened a few earlier this year, or at least last year, wherein the judgment was passed by a high court, wherein where there were several observations made as far as a POXO case, and the opening the strings of the pajama does not constitute as a POXO offence is concerned. There was no impeachment motion that could have been moved because it was an act that was done in the judicial capacity of a judge. The remedy to a judgment can only and only be a kind of a review petition, or in fact approaching a higher court, which could be the Supreme Court or at least a division bench of a particular high court. So definitely this standing does not on this leg, this does not stand off. Secondly, if in fact the impeachment motion is politically motivated, it questions the political leaning of a judge, that too also does not constitute a kind of a moral misbehavior or a proved misbehavior. Thirdly, the kind of allegation that we see as far as this impeachment motion is concerned, it has to be backed with constant and clear indication of the instance that it happened. There has to be a particular date, there has to be a particular time, and the kind of a quid pro quo that is involved. And if that is not there, then the legal standing of the impeachment motion does not qualify, and the Speaker's gatekeeping could itself be one of the grounds where the Speaker could actually turn down this impeachment motion on these particular grounds itself. So we'll have to wait and see as to how the Speaker would actually react. But the law of the land is very clear that this is quite a weak impeachment motion that's been moved as far as Justice Swaminathan is concerned. But what happens next is something that only time can tell us, and the Speaker's decision would actually tell us as far as this impeachment motion is concerned.
Absolutely. But this observation, when it comes to the letter of the law, Ananya, as you are pointing out, it needs specifics at the end of the day. Now, terms like impartiality, transparency or secular functioning of the court, without specific verifiable instances of abuse of office, they fall short of this stringent standard and are treated as attacks on judicial philosophy. So this entire impeachment motion can be chalked up to brazen political brinksmanship, given the lack of details as well as the wording of the impeachment motion, given the letter of the law as you've already laid out.
Well, absolutely. And when this whole Judges Inquiry Act actually came into the picture, and the impeachment motion or the process of removing a judge explicitly was inserted into when it came into the existence of the Constitution of India, the framers were of the very view that the three wings of governance, or the three wings of the Constitution, which are the judiciary, executive and the legislature, are three different organs, and the judiciary having being in fact the bearer of the Constitution, the guardian of the Constitution, deserves a little higher threshold as far as removing a judge is concerned. It's one of the most difficult procedures in fact the Indian Constitution, and until today there has been no judge that has actually been impeached. Most of them have actually resigned even before that impeachment motion could actually come to a conclusion, and that is something which shows how difficult it is to get an impeachment motion accepted and to reach its finality. So very clearly it seems to be a very tight walk. It's a tightrope walk as far as the opposition MPs are concerned, but it is the decision of the speaker at the end. We'll have to wait and watch. Another important thing, Ayushman, that I forgot to highlight earlier for our viewers is that this impeachment motion is not like that of Justice Yashwant Verma, because there it was in fact an inquiry committee, that the in-house procedure that was adopted against Justice Yashwant Verma by the then Chief Justice of India, Justice Sanjeev Khanna. There was a proper inquiry that was set out, and then in fact a motion was actually moved in the parliament, and then another committee was actually constituted, which is still continuing its investigation as far as Justice Yashwant Verma is concerned. So as far as Justice G.R. Swaminathan is concerned, this in-house procedure is also not there. There has been no letter that has been written out to the Chief Justice of India, or at least the Chief Justice of the Madras High Court itself, in order to bring in any kind of impeachment motion, or at least an in-house procedure before moving this impeachment motion. That also makes this a little weaker impeachment. But what happens next is something only the Speaker can actually decide.